to be with you. In all of our lives, there are those moments that define us. They might be planned, like a wedding or a change in employment. They might come out of the blue, like an accident or winning the lottery. Think of those events that have shaped our country. Who will ever forget 9/11? I think the election of Pope Francis will be one of those defining moments for our church. During the Easter season every year, we are reminded of those events that shaped the early believing community, especially as told to us by St. Luke in the Acts of the Apostles. Remember the Pentecost event. Where would the church be without the presence of the Holy Spirit? The event described in today's first reading is one of the biggest direction changes for our church. In the story, Paul and Barnabas have been sent out as missionaries to take the good news into what is today modern Turkey. And they always started out in the local Jewish synagogue. Made sense. Jesus was a Jew. So were the apostles and the first converts to Christianity. Paul was a radically committed Jew when he turned to Jesus. So it was a very natural place to start. But what seemed natural didn't turn out that way. The great majority of the synagogue congregations resisted Paul and his message. In fact, in many instances, Paul and Barnabas faced persecution, were sometimes thrown out of town, and sometimes even thrown into prison. But as that door slowly closed, another began to open. Gentiles were listening and were beginning to turn their lives over to Christ and to form faith communities. So that's where Paul and Barnabas turned. That turning to the Gentiles was the defining moment that led to a church that welcomed you and me. And over the next few Sundays, we will hear more about how that all slowly developed. What is clear in all of this is that gospel will not and must not be hindered by human boundaries and limits. Once I was in Washington, D.C. for a meeting. We finished early, and so I went for a walk. And I passed a storefront church that had a big banner over the front door that said, "Sinners are really welcome here." Over the years since then, it's often struck me how much time, effort, energy, and words we seem to put at times into keeping sinners out of church instead of welcoming them in, which of course Christ showed us how to do over and over again. If sinners are not welcome, then what are you and I doing in church? For are we not all sinners? So, how do you and I live by a free and unhindered gospel? Is there anyone out there who has felt shut out from being part of the Christian community because of you or me? If so, you and I must change. We must be that welcoming banner that says, all are welcome. God bless you.